Right, guys, welcome to Tango's TikToks. Let's see what our stand-up comedy has got for us today. Let's have a bit of a laugh. I'm in the mood to laugh. I'm not in the mood to do anything depressing at the moment. Let's see what we got.
I think it's pretty obvious. And I've thought about like time travel. Like if I went back in time, knowing everything I know now, I don't think I would make a difference. I don't think you would even hear about it. If I went back to the 20s and I like saw some guy on like an old phone, I'd be like, hey, eventually they have phones you just carry in your pocket. And he'd be like, yeah, how do they do it? It's like, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it. It's like a satellite or something. And they'd be like, what's a satellite? Well, you shouldn't have even brought that up then. It's like a round metal dish or something that's got to go pretty high in the air. I honestly don't think I could prove I'm from the future. I mean, they would want some proof, you know? Who's the next president? Oh boy. Thank you guys so much.
I arrived here 3 years ago, still learning the language. English is a very difficult language. And you guys make English even more difficult than it should be. I don't know why. I saw the other day a person saying, don't call me he or she, call me they. And I was like, what the fuck? It took me 3 years to learn I am, you are, he is, she. Let me tell you a story. I invited a friend to have dinner at my house the other day. And he was like, oh, I'm bringing a friend. And I said, of course, bring him. He was like, no. Bring them. So I bought a lot of food. My friend showed up at my house with one person. So I said, where are they? And he said, they are here. So you tell them that they are gonna eat all of this fucking food. I arrived here
It's been good to me this year. It's been a rough year on me. I've been trying to quit smoking, and I swear to God it's going to kill me quicker than cigarettes would have. And anybody who's ever tried to quit knows exactly what I'm talking about. It is the hardest thing you will ever do in your life. And people who've never smoked just don't get that. It's like my wife goes, I don't understand why you just don't quit, Bill. Just put him down and quit. And I go, baby, I am trying. It is hard. And she goes, I'm sorry, Bill. I don't understand why you just don't quit. And I go, all right, why don't you quit yelling? You can't. And I've tried everything. I tried the gum. I couldn't keep it lit. I tried the patches. They pulled the skin off my lips. Finally, my wife goes, why don't you try acupuncture? And I go, whoa. I go, isn't that where they screw those little needles into you? She goes, yeah. And I go, why don't you try waking up? I'm not going to let somebody screw little needles into me. She goes, Bill, it's your last option. So he found this lady, her name was Dr. Chang. And I had one question for Dr. Chang. Anybody know what that question might have been? Does it hurt? She goes, oh no, it no hurt. From a door 3 feet away from me, I hear a grown man go, ow, ow! And I go, what was that? And she goes, oh, he big baby. I said, I'm a big baby. So the next thing I know, I'm lying on this bed in my underwear. She has screwed a needle into the top of my head. 3 in each earlobe, 1 in each pec, 1 in each shin, and 3 between each of my toes. And I'm lying on that bed thinking, dear God, I could use a cigarette right now. And I can hear her and her partner talking in Chinese, but I don't speak Chinese. And then they start laughing. I'm like, oh my God, they're filming this. So she comes in at the half-hour mark, and I think she's going to take the needles out. No. She puts a cotton ball on each of the ones on my legs, lights it on fire, and leaves the room. Well, now I'm freaking out, man, because all I can see is smoke drifting up from between my legs, and I cannot inhale it. Okie dokie. Finally, at the hour mark, she comes in, she takes the needles out, and she goes, you come back tomorrow for another treatment. I said, well, let's just book that right now. Hey, after that, I'll schedule a prostate exam. This will be a big old day for me. So I put my ball cap on. I'm going to go home and take a shower because I've sweated through this whole ordeal. And I get home, I'm standing in the bathroom in front of the mirror, and I took my cap off, and I went, ow, ow. She left the needle in my head. I took my family on an RV trip this last summer. I thought RV stood for recreational vehicle. No, it stands for Ruins Vacation. I had never driven one of these things. Dear God, it's 35 feet long, 8 feet wide, and got 2 mirrors that stick out 3 feet on each side. Good Lord, I was like a passenger trying to land a 747. I'm weaving all over the road. I'm getting flipped off by kids in car seats, all right? And I don't know why they put a reverse on these dumb things. I never learned to back it up. If I pulled into a Quickie Mart too far to get gas and I pulled too far past the pump, there was no backing up. It was go all the way around the block and try it again. Thank God I wasn't the only one. Sometimes there'd be 7 or 8 of us just circling that Quickie Mart.
I didn't know we could lie to these people. This is the first time hearing that's an option. My parents,
Here's another thing about my age right now. If I'm, okay, say I'm sitting down. If I'm sitting anywhere, which I love sitting so much. I would take sitting and doing nothing to standing and fucking any day. This is way better than coming. This is way better. This is what, at my age, if I'm sitting down and somebody tells me I need to get up and go in another room, I need to be told all the information why first. You gotta explain all of that shit to me. What, why do I, what, no, why though? Your car's being towed right now. Well, that's what happens to me then. I accept that. Because getting up is a whole thing. It means first I have to decide, do I really want to be alive anymore? Like, let's start with that. And then I gotta start kind of rocking to get momentum. Like I'm trying to get an old Honda out of a snowbank. Here's another thing about my age right now. If I'm, okay, say I'm sitting down. If I'm sitting anywhere, which I love sitting so.
I've never been called a millennial or Generation X. I've never even really heard any of those terms growing up. And now you hear them all the time. So I looked it up to try to say, I was like, what am I? And I'm technically nothing. I'm on a cusp. I'm a generation gap. And what we are called, Zennials, or we're called the Oregon Trail generation, or we are called, my favorite name is the lucky ones. And it's true, we're very lucky. We actually grew up in 2 different worlds. When I was a kid, I grew up like it was the 50s. Like you would go outside and your parents just didn't know where you were. We went to school and played Oregon Trail on a computer at school. No one had a computer at home. It's like, what are you, a zillionaire? Like, I mean, you could. But then in high school, I had AOL. You know, we had a computer at home. Then I got a beeper. And then I got a cell phone. I didn't have social media until I was 26 with MySpace. You know, I mean, social media, like, whatever I did in high school is a rumor. It can't ruin my life. So, if you're around my age, you might realize, like, you just end up always kind of being in the middle. Like, I understand when a Gen Xer says something, you're like, I get it. A millennial says something, you're like, no, I get it. You always just feel in the middle. And these groups all hate each other. And the most I've ever felt where I was in the middle was just this one hotel that I stayed at. So a lot of hotels now, they have Chromecast, and you can watch like Netflix in your hotel room. So I get in my room, and I turn it on, and my Chromecast is not working. So I call down to the front desk, and the oldest voice I ever heard answered the phone. This guy was a Civil War survivor. I mean, he was the age where you just go, thank you for your service. And it's like, was in the Army? You're like, probably, man. I mean, there's an age where like they all had to go at that age, so just say it. So I tell him, I go, hey, my Chromecast is not working. And I could have just made up a word. I mean, he's never heard of that. I could have said, my beatbox broke. I mean, he asked if I was staying at that hotel. That's how he goes, are you staying here? I was like, do you think I've called the front desk from a different hotel room? He goes, look, I don't know what this is, but there's a younger guy here. I'm going to send him up. He'll be able to help you. And I was like, great. So that guy comes up, and he knocks on my door. I open it. He's my dad's age. And I mean, right when I see him, you're like, all right, dude, we don't have to do this. You know, I mean, I know you've heard of it, but you're not. If I can't fix it, you're not gonna be able to fix it. But he's the generation that still wants to give it a try. So I gotta let him in. So he comes in my room, sits on my bed, a little too far back, I thought. I just remember like the back of his calves were touching the bed, and I was like, "Are your feet dangling? How far back are you gonna go? Are you cold? Do you want some covers, man?" He gets the remote and just starts pressing all the buttons. And I said, "I don't know if that's going to do it." And he goes, "Let's just keep trying it, though." I go, "All right. I'm going to turn the shower on, open a window. Let's try everything. You know, let's just see. Maybe it turns on. Who knows? Maybe it's all connected." So we can't get it. And he goes, "All right." He goes, "There's a younger guy. He's about to come to work." And at this point, I'm like, "I'm the younger guy, man." I was like, it's all right, dude. I don't need it." And he goes, No, it's a millennial." And I was like, "All right. Now we're getting somewhere, you know?" This is what the millennial does. He was born with technology. He's going to know how to fix this. I was excited. I was like, "Great." He goes, he comes to work in an hour. I go, "Wonderful." And let me tell you, you know how quick that millennial fixed it? Well, I'll never know because he just didn't come to work that night. So, and I found out because the old guy called me because he was supposed to fill in for him. He was furious, dude. He hates that millennial. He goes, he never comes to work. He doesn't take it serious. He's got a peanut allergy. And I was like, all right, well, I ended up fixing it myself because it was just unplugged. So that's my fault. I've never, look, you think I'm old. There's people older than me still around. Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. Walking around. People from the 30s. My great Aunt Helen, from the 30s. She's deaf. They didn't know she was deaf until she was 9 years old. That's how long it took them to figure it. Deaf, one of the easier ones to figure out. And the doctors were baffled as they smoked in her face. And they're like, I don't know, you know. She's rude, I'll tell you that. My parents are getting older. So my mom, we had her go pick up our daughter recently at a friend's house, and I texted her the address. She drove to the wrong house. So she knocked on the door, and another grandmother answered. Well, this is not good. This is like two dogs seeing each other through a fence. They're going to be there for a while, you know? So my mom, she knocks on the door. The grandmother, my mom goes, "Is my granddaughter in there?" And that lady goes, "I have 3 grandsons, so no solution." Just 2 grandmothers. Just, "Do you have stuff?" "I have stuff too." They talk for 30 minutes. It's a wrong door. I had to go get my daughter, then find my mom. My dad, too. My dad has surgery 8 times a year, probably. And he loves it. He loves it. He had surgery because he was addicted to Afrin, the nose spray. Look, I've been addicted to Afrin, the nose spray. If you don't know what it is, I would honestly tell you not to get involved. It's one of the best things I've ever been part of. Solves everything immediately. When I was on it too, my wife she'd be like, "What's that?" No, she'd hear one puff. "What's that?" I go, "I ain't go live like this. I ain't worked this hard not to do Afrin in my own home." So my dad goes to the doctor, and they were like, "Do you use Afrin?" And he goes, "No." And the doctor was like, "I can see that you use it. I was just saying that." He goes, "How long have you been using it?" My dad said 5 years, which is a lie. But my mom was there, and she goes, "How about 45 years?" That's how long he's used it. 45 years. The back of the box says no more than 3 days. There's not a medicine on earth that tells you to give it a good 45-year run.
Look, no means no. That's another one. No means no. It's like, no, it doesn't. All right? Look, no means no. No, that means no. All right, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Oh, my God. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, that's not a fucking no. That means I want to do it, but I'm afraid you're going to judge me, so I'm just going to make it look like it was your idea so you don't figure out that I've already performed this act with 40 other fucking people. Right? But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, she didn't fucking say it like that. She didn't say it like that. No means no. That's another one. No.
I had a white guy tell me, he said, Vern, why do black people always use the word motherfucker? Because the word motherfucker is a noun. It describes a person, place, or thing. You might hear a conversation and it go like this. You seen that motherfucking Bobby? That motherfucker owed me 35 motherfucking dollars. He told me he gonna pay my motherfucking money last motherfucking week. I ain't seen this motherfucker yet. I'm not gonna chase this motherfucker for my 35 motherfucking dollars. I called the motherfucker 4 motherfucking times, but the motherfucker won't call me back. I called his mama the other motherfucking day. She gonna play like the motherfucker went in. I started to cuss her motherfucking ass out, but I don't want no motherfucking trouble. But I'll tell you one motherfucking thing. The next motherfucking time I see this motherfucker and he ain't got my motherfucking money, I'm gonna bust his motherfucking head. And I'm out this motherfucker. I had a white guy tell.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I really enjoyed that one today. Thanks for watching until the end. Hopefully you've watched it until the end. This is Lawrence from Tango's TikToks. I really do hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Where you from? What kind of comedy you like watching? Let's all laugh together. Have a good laugh. Anyway, have an amazing day. Bye.